Okay, so I figured we could start with outside because my son really wanted to come outside and play. So he's super cute. Can you say hi? Say hi. Dean. Dean. Can you say hi, please? I mean, he's super cute. He just doesn't listen. So we're gonna get started with what's on my back patio. So first of all, this is my setup. I have this hammock that my husband got me. He surprised me with it. I really wanted one. And then we just recently put in this really cheap and expensive rug, but I love my hammock. This is like my sanctuary area. This is where I come to relax. I've got my plants and it's just beautiful here in this little corner of paradise. My kid is yelling for help. What does he want? You good? Dean? You good? Okay. All right, so first up we have got this guy right here, which I honestly do not know much about. I don't know what he is. I believe he's a peperomia of some type. He honestly could be a genus of Transcantia. I don't know. All I know is that I really like it. It has purple leaves to it. Yeah, so I got this at Home Depot and it was just flowering and it just looks so good. So I had to take that home. So that's one of my hanging baskets. Here is my asparagus fern, which probably needs watered. Yeah, it needs watered. But this actually, I potted this up like this, but it's super cute. I'm glad I ended up getting it, but it came in the same container as my birds of paradise. So this is supposedly a white birds of paradise. There's 2 stalks in there, which makes me think it's 2 plants. I'm not sure, but this came in a smaller bucket than this, with this and another plant that I have potted up over there. So my bird needs water also. You can tell because the leaves are curling in. So I will do that. I was actually getting my hose to be able to water, and I looked over at my croton here, which I got this guy on the brink of death, which that's a common theme for me, is I like to rehab. But yeah, it's pushing out new growth like crazy. So I had this entire stick did not have a leaf on it. It literally was just a blank stick. So since I've gotten it, it's got these 3 leaves. It's pushing out some new growth. It has new growth points popping up all over the stick. And the leaves are just, oh, they are just screaming with new color. And look at all that growth right there. That's all new. Ever since I moved it outside, it's just been thriving. I got it in March, I believe, and it's July now, so I've had it for a bit, but it is dry. So this pot, it does not have any drainage to it, so it is very easy to overwater. I just typically water it until I can see that the soil is getting wet. I like this because you can see the roots in it, but yeah, I just haven't repotted it. But most of my other plants have drainage, or they're in a nursery pot inside of it's a cash pot situation. So we're gonna water this, and we're gonna water some other stuff over there where my dog is. So I am just going to lightly water this guy. And I don't want to go up front and get my watering can. So that's, anyway, we're going to I usually water this until I can see water coming out the bottom. This guy takes a lot of water. So I'm gonna let this soak down, and I'm gonna spray off the leaves, give them a little bit more humidity. Birds of paradise like full direct sun, which is why it's in this corner right here, because it gets pretty much direct sun. So I can see the water starting to come out the bottom of the pot. So I'm just gonna let this soak here for a second, and I'll probably come back and do another round with the hose. But let's do asparagus fern. And I do this until I see the water come out the drainage hole in the bottom. And there it is. Beautiful. Okay. I'm gonna give this guy some more. Okay. This guy probably does not need any water at the moment, and when I do water it, I bottom water it, so I'll give it a good butt chug later. So let's go over here, and here we have my new philodendron Salome, otherwise known as the Hope philodendron. So I gave it a little bit yesterday, but it probably needs more. So I'm gonna water my Teneke because it is a little droopy, little droops magoops. We've got some new growth coming in, which is awesome. I was worried about this guy for a hot minute. When I repotted it, it was pissed. I got it from Home Depot for $10, and it was severely overwatered at Home Depot. I mean, severely. So that's all I'm gonna do for it. But yeah, this branch right here, I ended up plucking all the leaves off, and same with this one because they just were not in good shape. This is a makeshift pole that I did, and I just loosely tied a rubber band around it just to hold it up so that way I can get some strength back, because it was leaning with and rocking with it, kind of like this side is right now. So we're gonna turn it and see if it likes that a little bit better. So we're gonna water this guy. I've also got some baby Mother of Millions or Thousands, whatever you want to call it. I think it's Mother Millions. So this is actually a really good well-draining soil. So props to Lowe's, because I got this thing for 15 bucks. Like recently. So it was this big when I got it, which is pretty freaking cool in my opinion. So I just like to pull off the gross ends. I'm also going to give this guy a good spray. Okay. So here I've got my string of fish hooks. I'm not watering that. Not happening. This is the mystery flowering plant that came with the Birds of Paradise. This is my Transcantia. This is the typical one that you will find, but it's starting to trail on both sides. Do I have a watering bottle out here? I think I do. For the smaller pots, I am going to use this. This is not bubble solution. This is an old bubble solution container that I use for the back patio for watering, and I just use the water out of my hose. I have a well, so I don't have to worry about all the additives in the city water. So I'm just going to water that. I've got string of hearts here that I'm going to water. This thing loves being outside. Loves it. I've got an Old Man of the Andes cactus. I was told this is a snowshoe aloe. I'm not 100% though. This is a peperomia, which I am going to water. Don't know what kind of peperomia. This is a Ming thing. And I've got an aloe here. This is a plant that my sister gave me. She lives in West Virginia, and she saw it, she thought of me, she brought it. Super cute, super pretty, super appreciative. It is inside of the nursery pot, still inside of that, just because I haven't done it yet. I haven't repotted it yet. Here's one of my golden pothos. Loves being outside. This is my variegated lucky bamboo, and it's just, I don't know. So it came planted in dirt, and it had different rocks in it that were decorative, that really, it was just not good. Like, bamboo live in water. I mean, they can do soil, but they prefer just standing water and rocks. So it's just been mad ever since I changed it, but I mean, it'll be okay. I'm hoping it'll bounce back anyways. I'm gonna water this guy. Hi, reflection. Oops. And my pothos that are outside, I pretty much water them every day, I feel like, because these guys are thirsty. And then over here on this old dryer, the dryer's a long story, but I've got 3 of my begonias on here, and I've got this. I just put these out here yesterday, and repotted them, but this, I don't remember what it's called. They're all angel wing, I know that. I just don't know the specifics, but this one is actually blooming, which I was kind of surprised that it started blooming. But I just recently repotted these yesterday, and I did not water them. So when I repot, I don't water immediately. I let them rest for a day or 2, and then I water them. But these guys have been resting for a day outside in the heat. I live in Ohio, and it's in the mid 90s this week, and it's also a pretty humid state. It's actually not that bad today outside, humidity wise. There's a nice breeze. But this guy I thought was a goner. He lost all of his leaves, except for this one at the top. It was about the size of this one when it fell apart. I'm not sure what happened, but it had this mold on it, which I've just left it. I don't know. I'm not a huge begonia person. I honestly don't know why I have these. Probably because they have polka dots and they're pretty. All of these are a type of angel wing. Like this was super pretty. It has pink in it. I have this one, which I got one for my mom as well. And then I have this one. My mom has a huge pot of this on her front porch that is just loving life. But yeah. So over here, I also have got this little succulent thing right here. This is a Hawthoria, and these are little chicken hens and chicks, I think. I'm just gonna give it a little bit. I do not water this one too much. This is another fern that I have. This is a kangaroo paw fern. I am really digging the kangaroo paw. I don't know why I have a huge one on my front porch. It's just so cool to me. I don't know. But we're gonna water this. My kid's playing with the hose. This is my rabbit foot fern, which I love this guy. I love this guy. I think it's so cool and so weird. So, and then the fronds come out of the quote-unquote rabbit feet, and they come out a darker, like auburny golden color like that, and then they turn this really beautiful green. This is my lavender it's trying really hard. This is a Peperomia serpens, which I bought this thinking it was a Hoya serpens. Definitely not. This is my fiddle leaf fig, one of my 2 fiddle leaf figs. And I feel like it's not growing at all. Hi, baby. Are you getting hot? And my lavender, which is trying. I'm gonna give it the last of this water. And yeah, so that's pretty much the extent of what I have on my back patio. I also have a vegetable garden that is out in my yard, and I have a grapevine as well that my grandfather planted here when him and my grandmother lived here. So, but yeah. I just realized I've been holding the camera upright and not sideways probably the entire time because I'm not used to it. So if that's the case, I apologize. If it's not the case, I'm not even going to include this part in there. But let's go to the front porch. I also have this Peperomia pepermoides that I don't like, and I put it out in my garage because I was going to give it away, and I forgot to give it to the person that was over here, and now it's thriving in my garage. So I don't know. Now we're on my front patio, or my front porch I should say, and patio, but this is the road out here. So I've put my kid inside watching Blippi, so because he'll run out into the road and it's terrifying. Why is the color off? There we go. But I am going to show you everything that I have on my porch. It's not necessarily clean out here. It's kind of a hot mess, but it works for me for right now. I need to reorganize and whatnot, but it's too hot for that shit today. So let's start out in the corner. Here we have got my Brazil pothos. I think it's a pothos. I don't know. I took like 4 or 5 of these plants and just stuck them in here, and it is just loving it. It is starting to finally vine out, and I'm so excited. I got the pot on clearance at Home Depot. This is a Dracaena, which I don't know if I'm loving it anymore. I put it outside because I didn't know what to do with it, but I got it from our local grocery store for 10 bucks. And check out that premium Costa foliage. So it's a Costa Farms Dracaena. I mean, it's really pretty. I got it because it has pink in it. I don't know. It just doesn't tickle my pickle anymore. And then right here, we've got one of my mini Hoyas. I put this guy outside because it was so mad at me. I bought this off of another planty friend, and because I was finally starting to get into Hoya, and like every Hoya was on my wish list. This is a Crimson Princess that is trying really hard to revert back to a Carnosa, but it's one reason why I have it outside, is to kind of help it not revert. Where it's sitting at right now, it gets lots of evening sun and it likes it so far. So I'm hoping that the new growth that comes through will be happier. And then I actually put a miniature Crimson Princess in here that was trying to revert from inside. But so the way that you can tell the difference between a princess and a queen is the princess wears her variegation on the inside, like this is her gown, and then a queen has it on the outside because it's her crown. But as you can see, it's got pink stems, which I am obsessed with. So it's supposed to come through with pink growth. I have not had any new leaves pop in yet, but the vines have gotten longer, so there's hope. But yeah, so this is my Crimson Princess that's on my front porch. I've also got this. Whew, she needs water. She's starting to get droopy. This is a hydrangea bush, and I got this specifically like 2 days ago because, well, for one, look at how stunning it is. I mean, it's a lot prettier when it's perky. I'll water it after this, but I don't have a hose out in my front yard, so that's why I'm gonna water it later. But my grandmother's funeral arrangements for flowers, we're done with this, and I live in my grandparents' house. Blue is her favorite color, so I'm gonna plant this in the yard in honor of my grandmother. And then this is where it gets kind of messy. So we'll just start with the picnic table. I have got an orchid here. I don't know what kind. I bought it on the clearance shelf at Lowe's for $10. It had no bulbs on it. I've watered it once since I've had it. And I mean, the roots look good. And the leaves are nice and firm. They're not too droopy. It's starting to push out the growth again. If you guys didn't know this about orchids, they are perennials when they're taken care of correctly. So when the bulbs fall off, you don't necessarily need to throw it out. So it can be the stem for several months before it'll push out new bulbs. So I always get them when they're on clearance, like on the off season at Lowe's and Home Depot and Walmart, because you can still get a good, beautiful orchid plant out of it. Here is my coffee plant, my Arabica coffee plant. Got this from a local nursery for $6, and after I see it there, I see it literally everywhere for cheaper, so of course. But I love the idea of having my own coffee plant and potentially being able to get leaf or coffee beans out of it. My kid is banging on the door. He's going, "Mama, mama." But what's cool about these is, so I have hand sanitizer out here for the delivery truck drivers, if in case they so choose to. But I like this plant because it tells you when it needs watered. The leaves just fall, like they just start drooping, and it looks sad. It's got some crispy edges down here because it was getting too much sun, so I moved it from the backyard to up here, so that way it gets bright and direct. So here, if the street gets on my nerves, I'll probably just do a voiceover, just because I forget how loud it gets out here. So this is a Transcantia Nanook, I believe. And I love it so much. Look at the backs of these leaves. I mean, it's so pretty. It's just so pretty. So my original plant is this right here. So this and this. And then I was at Home Depot and they had a huge stem that had fallen off, and I asked them if I could have it, and she was just like, I don't care, it's trash otherwise. And so I just stuck it in the soil and I'm propagating it now. So you should never take clippings unless you ask for permission. That's a big no-no. But I love this. And this is an orchid planter, I guess, but I liked it for this, so whatevs. This is a Peperomia Jenny. I don't know how I feel about her. I've had her for a while. This is one of my first houseplants. I got it from Home Depot for like $4 or something like that. I don't know. She was in my office for a long time, where majority of my plants are, and I don't know. Her and that Dracaena, they just don't tickle my pickle like they did. I think I was just buying things because I thought this was a Hoya when I got it because of the thicker leaves, and it's definitely not a Hoya. Those are my strawberry plants that I really need to get in the ground. Let's see. This is a caladium. I'm not sure which kind, but it was like $2 at our local grocery store. So I got it thinking I could bring it back to life. And it has definitely got some fruit fly issues, so great. Here's another caladium. This one is not dying. So caladiums are martyrs. So what they do is when they start pushing out a new leaf, so like right here you can see that green, that's new growth right there. That's new growth right there. And yeah, so when it starts pushing out new growth, these will just die off, and it'll be super easy to pluck out once it's ready. So this one probably won't be ready until this is a little bit bigger of a leaf, but this leaf is actually one of the newer ones, and apparently it's already time for it to go. But when I got this, it had a leaf that was literally bigger than my head, and I got a big head, so I was quite impressed with that leaf, and that's why I got this. It was $7.99 at Home Depot, and I mean, it's a caladium. I like them. I think they're pretty. I've got more in my office. This is a Rex begonia that I'm slowly killing. I haven't been purposely trying to kill it. It just does not like me. I water it when it's completely dry, when the leaves are droopy. I don't know. Yeah. So if you know, feel free to tell me. I might have waited too long on the last watering, but like I said, I'm not super wild about begonias. So, but yeah, this is a Rex begonia. All right, so now that we've talked about what's on the picnic table, I do have a couple succulents right there that I need to rehab, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So let's move to my hanging baskets, and then we'll go inside. So this one is actually too big to just show you in one frame without being farther away. This is my golden pothos. This is one of my most gratifying plants. I know that my friends from our Discord, from Plant Me Ashley's Discord, are going to agree with me, or disagree with me, I should say. I'm sorry. They hate pothos. They're like, pothos are the devil. There's a reason why it's called the devil's ivy. But I love it. It pushes out so much growth. This thing has gotten so freaking big. I love it, but I'm gonna show you how I can tell how to water it. With all of my plants that are hanging up out here, I do the weight test on them. So I grab it from the bottom and I just gently lift. And if it's light, then it needs water. This one actually does not need watered for once, but I seriously love it so much. I mean, look at how beautiful this new leaf is. It's like so shiny, gorgeous. All right, and then over here, this is my bigger kangaroo claw fern. You can see the little kangaroo feet coming out. I always thought it was because the shape of the leaf, but it's not. But I just watered that one yesterday really well, so it's good. This is my teddy bear vine. This one's really creepy looking, but I kind of love it because it's super fuzzy. Some people say this looks like spider legs, but I like it. This one does not need watered. All right, and then here is my other fiddle leaf fig, which looks like it's got a visitor. So this has got a snail on it. I have no idea where the frick these snails come from, but if you see them on your plant, that's what they do. They eat holes into your plant, and it's not good. So I'm just going to take that guy off, put him in the weeds, because there are lots of weeds out there. But this is, yeah, fiddle leaf fig. I've not getting any growth out of this guy at all. I just want it to get bigger. I want a really tall tree, but it's not big enough to start cutting into the side of it to make it branch out, I don't think. I pinched the top of it, so hoping to promote growth out of there, but yeah. Here is my peperomia ruby cascade, which I love this. It's just so pretty. So pretty. This one is good. It does not need watered. It's been pushing out new growth like crazy ever since I put it outside. I actually lost about half the plant when I first got it because I had it inside hanging in this picture window and it was hating life. So this thing likes bright and direct light. And I water when these guys are completely dry. So this is my Silvery Ann plant. She needs watered. So I love her. Like, she's been putting out a good amount of new growth, but when they need watered, they do this. So we're gonna water her. I'm gonna show you how I do that. This is all my watering jugs. So our local nursery has its own freshwater spring thing. Anyways, they have access to spring water. It's like an underground spring that they have. And they also add fertilizer to their water, and they let you come and get water for free. You just have to bring your own jugs, and my plants love it. Generally, that's what I water them with, unless I'm out. Like, I am almost out of this water. We call it the Knollwood water or the magic water. It's Knollwood Garden Center in Beaver Creek, Ohio. But it's just a light fertilizer that they use. It's like their own mix, and when you go into that garden center, it's stunning. So their plants are huge. But I got this Silver Ann from Walmart actually for $5. So which is probably why it was $5, was because when I got it, several of the chunks, like the plants, came out because it was just cuttings. It was like fresh cuttings that they just shoved in dirt and called it a day. And I'm like, no wonder it was $5. But I water them like that. I have this catching water pot right here. as you can see. And what I do is I just let it sit here for like 30 minutes or until I remember about it. And then I will check on it and see if it's absorbed the water, and then I just hang it back up in its spot. All right, and then we have got this guy, which is a peperomia of some sort. I just don't know what kind. So if you know what kind this is, let me know in the comments. Ooh, it needs watered really bad. This is a peperomia of some sort. I don't know what kind. If you know, drop it in the comments, but I really liked it. It's got that really pretty variegation. I think I got this from Walmart also, but it's from Costa Farms. You know, it said beautiful houseplant home decor on it. So I don't know what it is, but it's really, really pretty. It vines out, so I'm super excited to watch it vine out and just become huge. So what I'll do is I'll leave this one here until that guy is done drinking, and then I will swap it out. And then over here I've got a Dischidia. I don't know what kind. Dischidia ruscifolia. That is almost close to needing watered, but not quite there yet. This is a cousin to the Hoya, which you will soon find out is my favorite genus. But yeah, this is just a really pretty plant. It's got new growth coming in, so all that lighter green foliage is the new growth, and it's just super cute. I like it. But this guy, like, holy shnikes. This is one of my favorites that I have. This is my, look at that tendril down there. This is my Hoya australis that I got from my local garden center at Knollwood, and it was $30. I shit you not. It was $30. Look at this thing. Oh my God, it's so massive. It keeps trying to wrap around the porch swing, but yeah, it's throwing hands. And I cannot wait to see what this guy does. So one way to tell if Hoyas need water, they can tell you when they're thirsty. So the tips of them are going to be the weakest, I should say. Not really, but you want to get a leaf that's close to the pot as possible. Feel this. If it's firm, it doesn't need watered. So when the leaves up there start getting bendy, like the hot dog, like you can do the hot dog test with them, then it needs watered. So only when it's these up here can do that without breaking. But so that's all the hanging baskets. Let's talk about this. This is my propagation station. I 100% took the idea from Harley G. So I took this idea from Harley G. It's basically a tub or a tote that I put holes in the top, like along the divots. I put holes in the top so that way it has air. And then on the inside is wet sphagnum moss that I do have to add more water to, probably once or twice a week, just because it's so hot and it just creates so much humidity. But this is a rooting station. So I've been putting my Hoya in here. I have a Peperomia obtusifolia in here. This guy is getting roots. I accidentally gave this guy root rot, and so I had to, and then I'll just, whenever it decides to perk up. But I have that in here. I had a really bad bat of mealybugs on one of my Hoya compactas, and so I'm currently trying to reroot them because they did this. They just kind of shriveled up and died after I treated them. I was probably a little bit too harsh on the treatment, but yeah. So this is what's left of my really long tendrils. I had 3 that were at least 12 inches long. And it was my first Hoya. So I'm trying to save it, and then if I can save these, I'll just pluck these into one of the pots of my Hoya compactas that I have inside. But what's special in here is I have got two of these guys. I've got two Hoya compacta variegata, reverse variegata. So I've got two Hoya compacta monoloa in here. So it's finally starting to root 2.5 months later. Like, holy shit. But like, look at how beautiful this is. So the reverse compacta, it has the variegation in the center of it. And this is a monoloa, otherwise known as a monoloa. These are really hard to come by. I was extremely, I don't want to say lucky because it's a bad story. Basically, I got this from a seller who sold these to me. They were $10 a piece, which is a great price for the cuttings, for variegated Hoya cuttings. So I didn't even know what a monoloa was when I got it. But for the variegated cuttings, that was a great price anyway. So I ordered them, and she sold them to me knowing that they had mealybugs, and it was bad. So it came to me, I opened them up, and they are infested with spider mites for one, and then infested with mealybugs. So I messaged the seller, and I'm just like, hey, I just wanted to make you aware that your plant, your mother plant, probably needs to be treated for spider mites and mealybugs. And she told me she knew that it had it and that she shouldn't have sold them, but she did anyways. And it was just a whole ugly situation. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Let's just say that. But this one's finally rooting. It's taken 2.5 months to root these guys, and I've tried, this is the third method, and as soon as I put them in the propagation box, within 2 weeks, I started seeing growth. So, and I put these at the bottom, and then I'm covering the ends with the wet sphagnum moss. And then look at the roots on this guy. Yes, bitch, yes. But I'm so excited to watch this turn into a beautiful plant. So that is my propagation station. That's what's inside of it. And like I said, I just poked holes in the top of it. And the only thing that's really different about mine is that over here I have what I wrote in here and how many, and then I have the date I added them there. So I added those monoloa on 6/4 to here, and it's now July 5th, and so it's been a month, and those are the roots that have come out of this after a month. So next up, I've got another favorite Hoya. This is my Hoya Kentiana variegata. Look at how pretty this is. It is so pretty. And the backs of it, it just looks like it's been splattered with paint. So one way to tell that these guys need watered is that the leaves start cupping like this. I watered it this morning when I first woke up, so I know it doesn't need it again, but that is how you tell. And then in a couple days, come back and check on them and feel the leaves. And they should have flattened out like this, and they'll be more firm. Like, you won't be able to do this with it at all. So you just let it soak in that water for a couple days. Don't leave it sitting in water. They don't like wet feet, but after you water them, that's how they perk back up. Australis are known for having thinner leaves with Hoya, so it was a little difficult for me to figure out how to handle that at first. But this is my Hoya Australis Lisa. I love her. I love her. She is by far my most expensive plant that I have purchased. She cost me the most. Value-wise, probably my monoloa is more valuable than this, but I love this plant so much. I actually have a plant inside that is worth more than all of them, and I only spent $15 on it, so. But I love this plant. She came and she had these leaves come in this really pretty red color, and so since I've had her, she's put out these 2 leaves, and then she's also got a little growth point in the center that's trying to push out more. I want a huge basket of this. So I'm gonna put this up. I'm actually gonna get my kid down for a nap because it's nap time. And then I'm probably gonna eat lunch, and then I'll be back, but you're not gonna notice the difference. It's gonna be like 2 seconds for you guys, so. Let's go cut some veggies. So I'm going to take you out to my vegetable garden, which I made extremely compacted by accident. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was going to take you guys inside and do the rest of the inside plants, but that would take forever because I have a lot of indoor plants. So I'm just going to do outside, and then I'm going to do inside in another video for you guys. So let's harvest some shnikes. So this is my yellow squash, which I have not gotten. Look, this is the first actual vegetable I have seen on this. So that's exciting. But I clearly have some cucumbers, and I'll have zucchini that's ready. Yep, sure do. So these scissors are specifically for my gardening. So that's why I have scissors, because I forget to buy shears every time I go to the store. Plus shears are kind of expensive. I have a lot of zucchini. If you guys have a favorite recipe, drop it in the comments, because yeah, we are running out of things to make with zucchini. So still no veggies yet on that. Ooh. We've got this zucchini sticking straight up. It is just doing the thing. I might let that grow a little bit more. Might let it grow for another day. They like double in size in a day. It's ridiculous. So we've got this one here, which I kind of want it to be a little bit fatter, so I'm probably gonna leave that one. And here's another squash. I think this is butternut squash. I can't remember. I thought I did yellow neck squash, but apparently I did not. It's fine. So those are my tomato cages. I don't have any tomato that are ready to be harvested, which is sad, but you know, whatever. I wish that all vegetables could just be harvested at the same time. That would make my life easier. My cucumbers are so wilty. I really need to water over here, but I've just been hoping that it's gonna rain because I'm lazy. But I do have some tomatoes coming through. So there's some tomatoes there. Yeah, so I've got tomatoes on all the bushes so far, so that's exciting. So here I've got some more cucumber. The vines are really prickly, so I always pick up the vine by the leaf. So this is a very odd shaped cucumber. This one can probably get a little bit bigger. I don't know what happened to this one. I'm just gonna cut this off. And I really need a compost bin, but I do not have one. So maybe I'll start one today, who knows? I want this guy to get a little bit bigger before I take him. I'm probably going to water my garden today just because it's been so obscenely hot. All right, so I've got those cucumbers, which I want them a little bit bigger too. I thought that I was giving them enough time. Sorry if my finger went in front of the lens, but you know. I thought I gave these guys enough time to grow, but apparently I did not. Cucumber typically grow really, really quick, but I think I need to water them desperately. I mean, they're very, very much wilted, and usually these leaves are perky like the zucchini over there. So we might not be plucking any cucumber today. So this guy keeps attaching himself there. No. This is a jalapeno pepper. I had to put cages around all my pepper plants because I had an animal getting in here and eating all my pepper plants down to the nubs, and I wanted my pepper plants to like survive because I want my peppers. So that's why there's cages around all my peppers. And yeah, I'm a horrible gardener, vegetable gardener, because of all the grass and the weeds that are in here. But I've just been maintaining it as I see fit. That's definitely not ready. I don't think that this vine right here has put out one cucumber for me. So this has a bloom on it, so that should be putting out something soon. I've got bush beans that I know can be harvested, my little blooms. This is a bell pepper. I think this is banana pepper. Let me get my bucket. And oh, this vine with the yellow flowers is cantaloupe, and I'm so excited for the cantaloupe. But let me get my bucket and we'll harvest some beans. And by bucket, I mean my little pot. Okay. All right, so this is how this is gonna have to go, and I'll probably just pick green beans off of this one plant because this is a really awkward angle that I have my phone at. I actually have my scissors in the ground and my phone is propped up against that. So the beans I don't necessarily need the scissors for. I don't even know if you can see this, but I've got some, this is a bush bean, so I was not expecting these to be bush beans. I don't know why, because that's what I bought, but these are basically just green beans. So I think so. This is, yeah, bush beans. They grow in a bush. They don't vine, but it's, which is why I have the cages around them, because I thought they were going to vine. But oh well. Ooh, a bumblebee. Hello. We love bumblebees around here. And you'll see like little holes in my leaves over here. We have been having a really hard time with Japanese beetles, which I didn't really even know was a thing. But they eat your plants and kill them, your vegetables, and your other flowers and stuff like that. So they're really bad around here. This year, they have like this golden, it's like an so their shell is, so they're about the size of my thumbnail for one. And then their shell, it's like this duochrome, like color shift thing, like it shifts from green to blue to purple kind of stuff. So they have been eating, smorgasbording my stuff, my green bean plants mainly, my bush beans. So we're just going to harvest the ones that can be harvested, because obviously there's some that are still growing. I thought that this was going to be a plant that would produce a lot more than what it has so far, like at once, because so far, like I harvested some yesterday and it is enough for one side for someone who does not eat nearly as much as me and my husband eat. So this one, my neighbor is behind me and he's been listening to me talk. Oops. So we're gonna end this part here and then you guys will see me in a second. So my neighbor also has a garden. He's done a garden for as many years as I can remember. If you guys remember, this is my grandparents' property that my parents bought when they passed. So I rent from my parents. But he looks at, like I stand up after I get done cutting my beans off, right? And he's like staring at it's not gonna help it, is it? And I'm just like, what are you talking about? And then he's like, you need to water because everything's so wilted. But let me show you my haul, and then after I show you guys my haul, I'm gonna drag the hose out there and water. So hold on. So I got a good sized zucchini. I dropped a green bean, but I got actually a decent amount of green beans today, and this I think I'm gonna start compost. I've been wanting to compost for a while, so might as well start now. But yeah, I got a good amount of green beans today. So that's exciting. So we might actually have enough green beans to do this for dinner tonight. So we might do stir fry, do some zucchini, green beans, chicken, teriyaki sauce, and some other veggies that we have inside. Cucumber, stuff like that. But yeah, that's the haul that I got. So if you are still watching this, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video isn't going to be super long. I tend to talk in depth about my plants when I start talking about them. And yeah, so I really appreciate it, you guys. If you guys like this, make sure you give it a good thumbs up, and then click that subscribe button and help a sister out getting her channel off the ground. So yeah, thanks for watching. The planty mama, because that's what I am, a planty mama. This breeze feels so good. But let me know if you guys have any video requests, if there's anything that you would like me to talk about in depth more, like care or anything like that with any of my plants that are outside. I'm happy to do that with any of my plants, really. So I can't wait for my grapes to start being ready to harvest. They're Concord grapes and they're delicious. But yeah, it's really hot here. It's really humid, and we're not gonna have rain for like another week, and it's gonna be in the mid to upper 90s all week. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next plant video. All right, bye guys.